Honorable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage. Through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, with your indulgence, I will defer the other items and let us take item 7, which is dealing with presentation of papers. So, honorable members, at the commencement of public business, items, yes, please.
Speaker, with respect, I just wanted to draw the attention of my colleagues opposite, especially Chief Whip for the Majority Caucus, that in view of the critical nature of the item that you just mentioned, he should endeavor to get his members in the chamber. I'm just drawing his attention. Ensure that we meet the constitutional threshold. I'm not raising it. I'm just drawing his attention to activate his whipping abilities. Because, Mr. Speaker, he can afford to stage the first coup at the committee level, and he has survived that coup. But he may not be too successful in staging a second one. One is the quorum to start proceedings, and then the quorum to take decision. I'm just drawing your attention. I'm a good man. Yeah, indeed, don't worry. There are a lot of empty seats, and Chief Whip, Mr. Speaker, he's done something very bad at the committee level, Mr. Speaker. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. And I don't want you to repeat it here.
Majority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, today the Honorable First Deputy Speaker, Chair of the Appointments Committee, led proceedings and same was zoomed to the entire world. Everything went on peacefully. Mr. Speaker, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't. nothing. So for the minority leader, Mr. Speaker, to bring me to the floor and assert without basis that I did something by Mr. Speaker, it should be expunged. Mr. Speaker, my constituents are listening. In fact, if anybody is on record to have done something bad at the appointment committee today, it was you.
Let me listen to the chair of the appointments committee.
Mr. Speaker, on record, I'm the chairman for the appointment committee, and I presided over proceedings of today. I have not seen any wrongdoing, heard any wrongdoing, or any complaint of wrongdoing on part of the majority chief whip. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm taken by surprise that the minority leader is now complaining at the plenary when I've not heard any complaint at the committee that the majority chief whip was involved in any wrongdoing.
Yes, minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, a lot of things happen at the committee meeting. A lot. And those matters will be raised at the right time. Mr. Speaker, the chair of the committee was reading a draft official report. A draft. When you have warned that nobody should ever rely on a draft official report, he was relying on it to quote you to fortify his submission. He was quoting you, Mr. Speaker. He was quoting you when the report is not official. Mr. Speaker, you recall that I once filed a motion and attached a draft official report, and you said no, until it is adopted, same cannot be relied upon. He relied on all those to make a supposed ruling, to deny the minority its right of being properly heard. And as for the majority chief whip, Mr. Speaker, I have said, my chief whip is accepted. I have said that many whips, it will be difficult for them to enter the kingdom of God. Mr. Speaker, a camel entering the eye of a needle will be much more easier. All the things you did, I have my 2 eyes. I saw. I've been in government before, so I know what you were doing. But now I am here and I'm alert. You would have to bring your members to make up. Mr. Speaker, I don't want anybody to quote you wrongly. The chair of the committee quoted you wrongly, and I've gotten my motion. I am going to move that Mr. Speaker rule against Mr. Speaker. He relied on an uncertified report. And Mr. Speaker, the rule is very clear. You cannot rely on a document that is not certified. So everything you did is rendered odious. And I know Mr. Speaker is going to rule on this matter. I know Mr. Speaker will rule on the matter because you cannot rely on certified official report to claim that Mr. Speaker has directed you to do something. That is what you did. And this Hansard must record this, that the document you relied on has not been certified. And you went ahead to do vetting on a document that has not been certified by Mr. Speaker. And now that Mr. Speaker is in the chair, we have ferried a motion to the clerk. And I'm serving you notice. Your paper will be arrested. I'm serving you notice. Your paper will be arrested. You can't lay that paper. Mr. Speaker has not certified that official report that you relied on. That's the point I'm making.
Right, Honorable Speaker. With all due respect, I will not want to sit here and allow the minority leader to illegitimately attribute to me any wrongdoing. The fact remains that I rely on what transpired in the House on Monday, when a decision was taken that will not do any other thing except what the President requested for in his letter that the Speaker has quoted to the House. And it is a matter of fact that by that letter that I've relied upon, the request of the President was that we should consider the Banks Depositors Act Amendment Bill. 2, we should also consider 2 nominees for ministerial position. 3, we should consider the nomination of 3 judges to the Supreme Court. And this is a matter of fact. Therefore, the referral was made to the committee with no exception. Once we are considering the 2 nominees for ministerial position, we should as well consider the nominees for the Supreme Court. I cannot preside over a discrimination in favor of the 2 ministerial nominees and against the 3 Supreme Court judges. 2, this House, in considering the business statement, agreed that we should proceed to waive, based on Standing Order 3, to consider the vetting and treat it as an urgent matter. And once that particular business report has been adopted, there was no need to move any motion to suspend Standing Order 3. I refer to what transpired on the floor of Parliament. There was no objection to whatever transpired on the floor of Parliament. Therefore, I will not want to preside over a committee to reverse what has transpired at the plenary of the House. That will be contrary to our rules. So I cannot accede to his request that we should vet only our colleagues that are nominated for ministerial position and refrain from vetting the judges as a result of the fact that all of them are contained in one request letter leading to the recall of the House. Mr. Speaker, I have not done anything wrong. The general public has listened to the preliminary objection that you have raised, calling on me to rule on, and they have equally listened to my ruling at the committee level. So please, don't come to the floor of Parliament and record in the Hansard and create the impression that the chairman of the committee has done anything wrong. I therefore take a very great exception to the impression that you are creating about me. You are my brother, but on this occasion, I will not take it kindly. Please stop what you are doing. Enough is enough. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.
Honorable members, this matter is not yet before the House. When it is before the House, the Speaker will call the House to have a say on it. In the meantime, there's nothing before us as being referred to by the minority leader, the members of the Appointments Committee, and the chair of the Appointments Committee. So we hope that if they are so minded and they want this matter to come before the House, they will do so in the proper manner. In the meantime, I direct that all what has happened so far be deleted from the records of the House. Honorable members, we move on, as stated earlier on, to item 7. Item 7, presentation of papers. The following paper to be presented, 7A, by the chairman of the committee.
18th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nominations for appointment as Ministers of State.
Please, 7A, there are two items, Roman 1 and Roman 2.
19th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nominations for appointment as Justices of the Supreme Court.
Honorable members, let me refer the committee to you members of the House, then you can raise whatever issue you want to. Honorable members, the two reports from the Appointments Committee, reports item 7A, Roman 1 and Roman 2 are accordingly laid and are for distribution to members of the House. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, I can confirm that report AI draft was brought. I had the opportunity to look at it, and same was okay by me as ranking. The report AII, I have not cited a draft of the report. The practice, Speaker, the practice has always been that once the report, the first draft is ready, the clerk to the committee will share copies, give one to the chair and one to the ranking. So, Mr. Speaker, I find it very strange that even as the draft is not ready and my secretariat is just sitting by the clerk to the appointment committee waiting for the first draft, they tell my secretariat that the first draft is not ready, yet we are being invited to do II. Mr. Speaker, this is very strange. As for I don't have a problem. I've seen it. We've all gone through. The chairman has signed. But as for II, my secretariat is sitting right by the clerk to the appointment committee's office, and they are not done. So, Mr. Speaker, I plead that the way we are rushing things, they should give the appropriate information to the chair, so that we are not seen as trying to come in every now and then on a matter that is settled. The draft is not even ready, Mr. Speaker. I've not seen it.
Honourable members, the case being raised by the minority leaders that room 2 of item 7A is not ready, and therefore it cannot be laid. Chairman of the committee, is that the case?
Right, Honourable Speaker. The report is ready. The committee has voted on the report at the committee's sitting. Right, Honourable Speaker, the record must reflect what transpired at the appointment committee. After the preliminary issues and the ruling from the chairman of the committee, the minority, led by the minority leader, Osahin Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Markins, walked out. They washed their hands away. Mr. Speaker, the record will show that I even offered him a bottle of water to wash his hand and wash his hand properly. So in the full glare of the media, after the vetting, the committee has taken decision. And this decision does not include him. So if he is looking for a copy of the report regarding proceedings that he recused the entire minority from, then he should say so, and I'll make copy available for him. Please, you said you have washed your hand away from it, and on one breath, you want to be given a copy of the report.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, with respect.
Yes, minority leader, yes.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I think we need to take things a bit much more serious. With respect, whatever we are saying go into the record. Whether or not the minority boycotted in protest as a result of your decision, the rule or the practice is that when a draft report is ready, the ranking gets a copy and the chair gets a copy. Mrs. Please, colleagues, please. We don't, Mr. Speaker, in this chamber, we don't have hired hecklers. There is no hired heckler here. We are all colleagues. So please, let's put the facts right. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, the report is not ready, and he knows the report is not ready. Let's not do things to confuse the situation. I have gotten my secretariat to follow up because we made input. We are not interested in what happened thereafter, but we are interested in our position. Even if we are not there at all, we are entitled per the rules, at least to have the draft and be sure that whatever concerns we have been properly captured. That is why even at the committee level, the verbatim report is also to be produced. So if I'm making the point, don't say that the report is ready because we decided that as Democrats, we will respect your decision however displeased we were. We will respect you. And out of deference to you, we gently exited. We didn't recuse ourselves. There's a world of difference between protests and recuse. We didn't recuse ourselves. We protested by exercising the right of a walkout just to ensure that there is decent politics. So we are entitled to the draft report. The draft is not ready. My secretariat is right at the clerk's office. They say the report is not ready. They are still doing it. So I think that it is fair to check with them than to say that I am not presenting the full facts here. As we speak, you don't have a report by you. The rule says that as soon as sufficient copies are available, the report will be laid. That is the rule. So where are the sufficient copies? You as chair, if you say the report is ready, show me your copy. Show me a copy of the report that you have which is ready. Let us be fair. What we have is a ministerial one, and we are not opposed to it, colleagues. Sometimes there is a tendency for you as majority to do certain things, but remember that you won't be majority forever. Some of the things that I do that irritate you may be to your benefit tomorrow. So sometimes tolerate me, bear with me, because you are not too sure what will happen in 2028. No problem. If you think that opposition is only for MPP, continue dreaming. You continue dreaming. Mr. Speaker.
So, honorable minority leader, may we, honorable members, proceed with item 7A Roman 1. So, let's proceed with that, and whatever issue has been raised, if after completing that item, the issue is resolved, then we'll proceed to the second one. Please, let's proceed to 7B. Is that report ready? No. 7C, is it ready? No. 7D is also not ready. And so we'll move from then. If members have been given copies of item 7A Roman 1, we'll move to the next item dealing with that report. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I sat quietly listening when you called the business schedule to be taken. Speaker, if our colleagues in the majority will recall, you had given notification of the businesses to be prosecuted. 7D was part of the business to be prosecuted. In fact, the 7C, the sector minister had been here to engage your leadership that he was ready for that bill to be taken. My point is, if these businesses are not ready, why do we put them on the other paper? Especially 7D. When we were told that 7D was supposed to be part of the agent business to be prosecuted. What is happening? We can forgive you for 7C. What about 7D? The Chief Whip, 7D at the business committee, you had said that that was supposed to be part 7D. And you are not, it is not ready. The Speaker says it's not ready, and you said it's not ready. And we should just take it like that. This is part of the reasons why we were recalled. Speaker, I insist. 7D was part of the reasons why we were recalled. And for us to just say that, accept it merely on the grounds that it's not ready, is untenable. I am disappointed. Because you had a prior notification of these businesses to be prosecuted. You are only focusing on the ministerial and the Supreme Court's justice nominees. What about this business? Bank of Ghana, report the Finance Committee on the Bank of Ghana Special Deposit Taking Institution Amendment Bill. We were told it was supposed to be part. Speaker, we should be demanding some answers from the front bench. I may have to forgive my respected majority leader who is exiting, but Deputy Leader Rickett, in the absence of the majority leader, you should be working. Chief Whip, you should be helping the majority leader. Deputy Whip, you should be helping the majority leader. This is unpardonable. I'm disappointed in the front bench. I'm disappointed. Speaker, they must tell for the record reasons why this particular business, which was supposed to be part of the urgent business, is not ready. And we can't just accept it's not ready merely on the grounds that it's not ready. You shouldn't be proud about this. Tomorrow.
Honorable members, definitely the issue on 7D is genuine. For 7B and C, they were not part of the urgent business that we were called to consider. But 7D was clearly itemized as part of the business. So his issue is, why is the report on 7D not ready? That will be the chairman of the Finance Committee or Constitutional and Legal Committee, or both, yes. Are they here? Why is the report on 7D not ready? Honorable Minority Chief, you raised the issue. I put the question. Let's listen to it. You want to help them to answer your question. Honorable leadership and members of the majority, the Minority Chief Whip is offering help. Do you need his help? So then let's move on with the 7A Roman 1. But kindly take note of the concern he has raised. And so we will look at item 9, motion, chairman of the committee.
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to move that notwithstanding the provisions of Order 1041 of the Standing Orders, which requires that a motion shall not be debated until at least 2 sitting days have elapsed after the notice to move the motion is given. The motion for the adoption of the report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as Ministers of State may be moved today. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Sorry, please go on.
Speaker, I rise to second motion moved.
Honorable members, this is a procedural motion, so I'll proceed to put the question since it's been moved and seconded. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted, and we'll move to item 10, motion, chairman of the committee.
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to move that this Honorable House adopt the report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as Ministers of State. Mr. Speaker, in so doing, I present to you the committee's report and urge the Hansard Department to capture the entire report as having been read. Mr. Speaker, the report has got to do with the vetting of Honorable Mahama Ayariga as the Minister-designate for local government, chieftaincy, and religious affairs. And an Honorable Zaneto Ajiman Ronis as the Minister Designate for Environment. Right Honorable Speaker, I will then proceed to capture in the marginal notes contained in the report, since the Hansa Department has captured the entire report, and I will read the conclusion. Right Honorable Speaker, the report considered first nominee, that's Mahama Ayariga, his background, and proceeded to ask the necessary questions which he has duly and appropriately and suitably responded. Some of the questions were reforms to local government elections and the appointment of MMDCs, illegal and irresponsible small-scale mining, and what we popularly call galamsey. The National Cathedral, the relationship between MMDCs and the members of Parliament, release and utilization of district assemblies common fund with specific reference to the small portion that members of Parliament has to authorize its utilization, though they are not the keepers of that money and as such not signatories to that money. Funding and development of chieftaincy institutions, matters relating to chieftaincy and religious affairs, his neutrality, impartiality, and independence regarding his position as the minister responsible for chieftaincy. District assemblies, revenue mobilization, and financial autonomy. Digitalization of local revenue collection. And Right Honorable Speaker, he has provided answers adequately to these questions to the satisfaction of the committee. Right Honorable Speaker, we proceeded to vet Honorable Zaneto Ajiman Rollins, Doctor, Minister Designate for Environment Science and Technology. We equally considered her background and proceeded to pose relevant questions. Equally, some of the questions borders on landfills and waste management. The use of mercury in small-scale mining and galamsey. Plastic waste management and implementation of plastic ban. We ask questions on climate change action and implementation of the Paris Agreement. Addressing attrition and brain drain in agencies under the ministry. So, Speaker, some of the questions were the legislative framework and implementation of Act 1124, interagency collaboration in the fight against illegal mining, popularly referred to as galamsey. We ask questions on transitioning from climate change commitment to practical implementation and climate finance. Mr. Speaker, she has also suitably, appropriately responded to these questions, and their respective response were all captured by the reports. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the committee, in the light of the provisions of Article 78(1) of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, Standing Order 217, considered the two nominees of His Excellency the President as ministers of state. The nominees demonstrated knowledge in areas of local governance, chieftaincy and religious affairs, small-scale mining, waste management, and climate change. The committee therefore recommends to the House by consensus the adoption of its report and approval of Honorable Mahama Ayariga as Minister Designate for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Honorable Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rollins as Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Right Honorable Speaker, I respectfully submit. Thank you for the opportunity.
Honorable members, any seconder? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the chairman of the Appointments Committee. Mr. Speaker, the two nominees who have been recommended for approval by this House demonstrated competence when they appeared before the Appointments Committee in responding to questions posed by members of the committee. I would start with the Honorable Mahama Ayariga, who is also the majority leader and leader of government business. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mahama Ayariga, in responding a question on reforms to local government elections and appointment of DCEs, made a point which is very profound. And Mr. Speaker, this is found at page 6 of the report. Honorable Mahama Ayariga made it clear that on the question of the proposed constitutional reforms for the election of MMDCEs, government's position, which is that the president nominates the MMDCEs and then allow for the entire electorate to elect from the number that the president would nominate, is a calculated attempt to preserve the country's unitary character while at the same time promoting local ownership, participation and accountability in governance. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Mahama Ayariga's views on this matter are very apt. Ghana is a unitary state as opposed to a federal state. And so we must be very careful so as not to emulate examples that are best suitable in federal states. In federal states such as the United States or Nigeria, Mr. Speaker, it is very easy for local government actors to be truly independent of central government authorities. Same cannot be translated in unitary republics. And so the position the Honorable Mahama Yarego took, which reflects government's position, is that let us for a start experiment with a system which allows for nominations to be done by the president, and then at the local level, the entire electorate can choose from a certain number. For a start, let's experiment with that. And moving forward, if it doesn't work for us, we can begin to experiment with other strategies and ideas. I think that this position taken by the Honorable Mahama Yarega is very instructive. Again, Mr. Speaker, when Honorable Mahama Yarega was questioned on the approach he would adopt in the fight against illegal and irresponsible small-scale mining, he acquitted himself very creditably. On page 7 of the report, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Mahama Yarega aptly diagnosed the causes of illegal mining in our country as follows. He said, the underlying socio-economic factors, and I'm quoting, including difficulties faced by some young people in obtaining the requisite licenses to undertake mining legally, is one of the causes of illegal small-scale mining in our country. And so he went on to profile solutions when he becomes minister to include the easing of the processes leading to the acquisition of licenses for small-scale or artisanal mining. Mr. Speaker, if we are able to relax the legal regime for young persons seeking to engage in lawful small-scale or artisanal mining, I am sure we would be able to partly address the problem. And that is the solution he proffered for the problem. So with this depth of knowledge and understanding of the issues, Mr. Speaker, it is my humble prayer that we support the Honorable Mahama Yarega's nomination by resoundingly approving of same. Mr. Speaker, let me now touch on Honorable Senator Ajiman Rawlings, who is the nominee for the Ministry for Environment, Science and Technology. And again, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Rawlings acquitted herself very well. At page, Mr. Speaker, at page 26 of the report, the nominee also had a bite at the thorny issue of illegal mining. And what solutions did she prefer? She was of the view that the approach she would adopt is, and I quote, all of government and all of society imperatives, unquote. And what did she mean by that, Mr. Speaker? She simply meant that she would emphasize the need for effective coordination among relevant ministries, departments, and agencies, particularly because illegal mining activities largely occur within local government areas. Her argument, Mr. Speaker, is that she will not indulge in the fight against illegal mining in silos. And so where there is collaboration and coordination, she believes that would be able to defeat the canker of illegal mining or artisanal mining. Mr. Speaker, on this note, given that the two nominees acquitted themselves with distinction at the vetting, I would urge colleague members to approve of their nominations. And on that note, Mr. Speaker, I say thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I definitely rise to speak in support for the call for the adoption of the report of the Appointment Committee. And I start off by having a go at the majority leaders different answers as was professed to the issues that were thrown at him. In my observation, I clearly observe a leader who understands the issues at hand, the milieu of issues ranging from the common fund, the governance system of our local governments, relationship with MMDCs and MPs, funding of chieftaincy institution, and digitalization of local revenue collection. Leaders showed definite expertise, and for the period I've worked with him, I can confirm of his discipline, his commitment to public service, and his passion when it comes to governance generally. So, leader, I will wish you well. But if you recall, I didn't ask you a question. I only said that you will have to come to Parliament as often as you can to answer all the questions that will be thrown at you. I was impressed by your answers and the way you contextualize most of the answers you gave to the issues that were raised. It showed class and experience. Our colleague, the Honorable Dr. Senator, the Speaker, I am an environmentalist, and so I sought to elicit good response from our colleague from landfill side waste, e-waste, climate finance, plastic waste management, and the protocols, the global environmental protocols, right from Kyoto to Berlin to Copenhagen to Brussels. And she showed class. She showed class. Then we veered into landfill site waste management. Again, she showed a certain definite expertise in this area. But for the records, I thought I had to be fair to my colleague because I had picked a lot of intelligence on happenings at the EPA, which is definitely an agency, if this House is gracious, is now to approve of you, an agency under you. There's a lot happening at the EPA, and I didn't want to push you because you are yet to go to the ministry. I'm only urging you that put your feet down, let the right thing be done. Mining generally and the liabilities that mining companies come under is a subject matter that you should be concerned about. A lot of these mining companies perpetrate illegality with a certain glee, and we have to up our game in terms of the governance of mining in our country. Elsewhere, in other parts of the world, not far away, not developed countries, even on the African soil, there are many places where there is a certain discipline. As a mining company, you cannot come to Africa, things that a lot of these mining companies cannot do elsewhere, and they do it, they feed fat on us, they perpetuate illegality, and they get away with it. Mr. Speaker, I am proud to say I was part of the people who stood in to advocate for our colleague to be elected as the Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament. Well, she's here. She can testify. Yes. But I'm saying this in a certain context. I'm saying that also to say that for the short period she's occupied that seat, she has shown brilliance. And there was an occasion she chaired a session of the Pan-African Parliament. And coincidentally, when she was chairing, I was also presenting a committee report. And that day was a day for Ghanaians. She's wonderful, and regardless, we must celebrate her. So, Doc, we are urging you to leave a mark at the EPA. It shouldn't just be business as usual. What will you be remembered of? We are hoping that the environmental governance, and also, let me just conclude, I know there are a number of people who want to speak on this subject matter. Climate finance. Climate finance. I'm happy you spoke to all the countries that have signed on with Ghana and the dollars that are raked into our country. The UAE is a huge potential. Regardless of the hydrocarbon deposit at the UAE, they are willing to exchange with us. And I'm hoping that you, your outfit, and the climate minister, and Prof is here. Prof is another gifted person in the area of climate finance. And now the narrative globally is on loss and damage. The developed world stands to gain over $300 billion if we are able to get the narrative right. And we will be available. I will give pro bono consultation when it comes to these matters. We'll be willing to help out of patriotism and for the development of our country. Speaker, let me urge our colleagues to support the two nominees who have distinguished themselves. And don't forget, you belong to this house. When we file the questions, come and answer questions. Yes, it's not a threat. When we file questions, they shouldn't be telling us they are attending conferences. When we file questions, make time for Parliament. This is Parliament. And don't forget us in the front bench here, especially Dr. Zenator. The minority leader, he had personified the fight for advocacy for you to be appointed. Supported my good self. Don't forget us. Speaker, well, if I say she shouldn't forget us, don't spin it. And don't put any wrongful interpretation on that. We work hand in hand. We haven't said that, I'll urge colleagues to support the passage of the report, and I'll respectfully urge our colleagues to succeed in their respective ministry. I thank you.
Honourable members, I'll proceed to put the question because both sides have eulogized the qualities of the two nominees, and I don't want us to keep on. Please, I will not even grant leadership that opportunity. I believe that these are your colleagues you have worked with. One has been a leader for years. There is no way the House can go back and say their leader is not qualified to be a minister. Honorable Dr. Zenator, the minority has even said more than what the majority has said. So what is there to deliberate upon or debate? So I proceed to put the question. If there's your voices, we've always heard your voices every day. And we know you, the leaders. And so I put the question. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. This Honourable House has accordingly approved the nominations of His Excellency the President of the following persons as Ministers of State in accordance with Article 78(1) of the 1992 Constitution. The first is Honorable Mahama Ayarga. Honorable members, as Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. The second is Honorable Zanato Ajiman Rollins. For the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation. Honorable members, on your behalf, I want to congratulate the two members of the House for the recognition by His Excellency the President, and wish them well in the two ministries. I know what is waiting there for them, and I'm going to have an eye on what they do there. You have a Herculean task in those ministries, and you both know what I'm talking about. And so please, you are going to wear additional hats, and that's not going to be easy. You have to combine your role as a member of Parliament, as a Minister of State, and also even what you are leaving behind here. You have to still carry that along. And particularly my son, Honorable Muhammad Ayalga, you have a very tall mountain to climb. And please, we are all available to support, to make sure that you deliver on your mandate. So congratulations, and the Almighty God Himself will bless both of you. Thank you so much. Honorable members, the report on